Hey guys, this is Chris Martin here. I'm pointing to myself, obviously. This is the Real Albuquerque episode 1, 2, carry the 2. I think we're on episode 5.
Sounds good to me.
Episode 1 was Chris Saylor. Episode 2, we had John Elder from Stoneforge. Episode 3, Lexi Palmer from Equisec.
Okay.
A lot of fun with her. Episode 4, we had Adam Ornells. You know Adam Ornells.
Adam, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that was really cool. We sat around and just talked about life and his favorite ways to consume music.
So we've had a star-studded lineup, a lot of good openers, and then we come to the main event right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, if you want to call it that, we'll see what they say.
Let's stick with that.
Episode 5 now with Matthew Bernabe from the Urban Hotdog Company.
There we go.
Not to be confused with the factory assembly that they have to my left. I called it the Urban Hotdog Factory. But it's a company.
You know, it goes by a lot of names as long as you know where the restaurant is.
Yeah.
Enjoy the food. We're perfect.
Dan, the guy from episode 1, is over here making a lot of banging noises. So if you hear banging noises, it's Dan, the guy from episode 1 of our not episode 1, episode 5 burrito review, which is
colloquially known as Burns' Burrito.
Burns' Burrito. What we filmed earlier. So he's moving ice. They're getting ready for business. Mm-hmm. Do you call it business or business?
I call it business. It's another day, another hot dog.
That's your slogan?
There's a couple of slogans I can do that.
Yeah, let's
we can go through you know.
Oh, you got to sprinkle them in?
You know, I like to, I'm just living life one hot dog at a time. We'll sprinkle them throughout the episode.
Okay.
I don't want to get people too excited.
I'm secretly excited about that.
As you should be.
We got our Free Clothing Company shirt, of course. Rocking that. Burns is rocking a nice, I don't know, what is it? Some sort of...
It's just a sweater, and under the sweater we have a shirt as well.
Okay.
It's a nice button up, a nice plaid.
Is it a sweater or is it like a fleece or something?
You know, I'm not sure on the difference.
I don't know either.
Hot dogs, my expertise. Clothes, not so much.
You're a clothes guy, a.k.a. Frank the guy at Dillard's.
Yeah. Ask that guy. We'll get him on an episode. He can tell you what I'm wearing.
We have some unmarked water bottles, of course.
I don't even know why
we're just talking about this. We're just kind of going on about where we're at.
We're building rapport as we go through the episode, endearing us to the viewers out
I don't know.
there,
I'm just all fired up and we're just goofing off here. So let's get serious for you guys. We have Matt Lewis Bernabe here. He's the owner, founder. Well,
not founder. No.
Yeah. Going current owner.
Current owner of this West Side location. So.
Oh, there's more locations.
So this is the first and only one. So yeah, it gets a little confusing. We can go into that now, or did you want to go into that now, or we can go?
Let's go into the history of Bernabe.
Okay.
I call him Bernabe. That's his last name. So his name's Matthew. I guess I got to call you Matthew. Is that weird?
Whatever feels good. Whatever makes you feel.
Okay.
Matthew Bernabe.
I don't know. Okay, Matthew. This feels weird.
No, don't do Matthew. I feel weird you saying that.
Okay, I feel weird saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Bernabe. Where did you start off? So you went to UNM. Okay,
yes. Let's even go farther back than that.
Yeah. When did you know that you wanted to? Well, I can't say that you wanted to be in the hot dog business because that's highly specific. But was there a time where you're like, hot dog business is the game?
Well, let's go back to young me. Let's go back. So there were times, I'm the youngest of 4 by a large margin. I think the closest sibling to me is 6 years. So that tells you that I wasn't necessarily
and he's a priest.
A planned baby. Well, no, I have a priest brother, a banker brother, and a sister who's a teacher.
Nice.
So I'm the baby of the brunch, and there's times where I'd have to stay home and cook myself meals, and a lot of those meals would be hot dogs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
okay,
so foreshadowing. That is foreshadowing. If you've ever seen it.
Yeah, if you ever read the book on Burns, that's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I've never known this fact, but keep on going.
Yeah, hot dogs and mustard. I was a purist from the beginning.
You went simple.
Yeah. Well, simple. That's a lot of people. Especially on the East Coast, they say you can't put ketchup on a hot dog.
Why is that?
It's just not right to them.
So if I go to the Yankee Stadium and I order a hot dog, I'm just gonna get a hot dog with mustard.
I mean, they
might. If I order ketchup, though, I'm gonna be like.
They might. If you're in New York,
I'm gonna start like a coup.
Yeah, you never know what they're gonna do out there.
I'm gonna be laughed out of that little hot dog stand.
Probably.
The guy's he just shakes his head and just gives you mustard.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the no soup for you guy. The soup Nazi. There we go.
Yeah, it's a hot dog Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So building on that, as far as knowing that I was business minded, A lot of it started when I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. J.R. Tolkien is by far my favorite author.
LTR?
Yeah, I'm all about that. I've gotten into arguments with Adam Ornelas specifically about why Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter, and it is.
Now, this is going to bring up some probably internet debates. I have my own theories, but keep on going.
Well, we can touch on that for a different episode.
Yeah,
Maybe bring Adam and I on a panel of other people. But
we'll bring in Star Wars guys and a Star Trek guy, and we're going to have a real episode.
Yeah, there we go.
4 panels.
Blood
Who's
will
the
be
best?
drawn. Yeah.
We'll put a sharp object in front of everyone, and then I'll just hit record, throw in a topic like, Star Wars is better, Jar Jar Binks is the man, and then let it go from there.
You're going to get some comments about that one. I know. But no, I've always been very, very business minded. I was that kid that would get Christmas presents and sell them on eBay. Which is not the best thing to do. Apparently it's insensitive, and I understand that now that I'm an adult. Someone gives you a gift.
It's meant for you.
You shouldn't turn it around and try to turn it into cash right away for something you actually want. You should appreciate the fact that you're able to get a gift, which I understand that now.
That's funny. So, but in the beginning, what you're saying in the beginning of time, you've always been on your own. Well, not necessarily been on your own, but you've always been making hot dogs in the sense, but always wanted to turn nothing into something.
Exactly, and
whether it's selling lemonade on the side of the road or hawking stuff on eBay.
Hawking stuff. I used to mod and sell Xboxes at a young age. My brother.
Oh, that was a big business.
That was a big business.
At the time, the Xbox was a big business. You put the
mod chip on there. You do some soldering.
I remember those days. Yeah. Now they still do the mod chip.
Do they really for the new Xboxes?
Oh yeah. Well, these Call of Duty guys hack it and they get all this craziness and get the nuke and all that kind of nonsense.
I'm impressed that they still do that.
I'm sure they do. Well, I can't say specifically, but I'm.
rumor on the street.
They're still jailbreaking iPhones. So yeah. Do you think?
So that I used to do that. Sell that.
That was really cool.
Actually, got a cease and desist letter from I think it was New Line Cinema when Lord of the Rings was out because I was buying wholesale Lord of the Rings memorabilia and selling it.
On eBay.
On eBay, and I didn't have a license to do so. I was in like 5th grade at the time. This was around 2001, I think.
Right. Do you remember a Lord of the Ring episode?
It was so once the first one came out, I was a huge fan. Apparently, I walked out of the theater angry that they didn't include a lot of stuff from the books.
Oh, so you read the books? That was my next question. Okay.
I read the books at least once a year. I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a cease and desist letter from it. I wish I would have kept it.
Framed it?
And framed it, but I threw it away and continued selling, of course. And moving forward from that, 8th grade, I got in trouble in high school for forging and selling report cards to upperclassmen.
Oh, okay.
So it was me and another classmate of mine. We got the format for the report card, and we would change people's grades, and we would sell them.
So little Billy got all A's and a C?
Yeah.
You got to keep it believable.
Eventually, that was the downfall, which we could talk about another time, but it was.
Again, there's a lot of sub episodes coming from this.
It was a nice, I hadn't taken a business ethics course at the time, so I didn't know it was necessarily unethical to do that. I just saw an opportunity, a market. People wanted good grades, and I wanted to make sure I could meet that need.
Yeah, and this is maybe before, if this is 5th or 6th grade, you didn't use Photoshop, you got the actual card. I guess we don't need to go into the details of how you got the job.
Let's not throw that one out there. But
we don't need to Ocean's 11.
Yeah, it was
I was just curious.
Afterwards, they went to a nice heat-sensitive report card, which
thermal paper.
Yeah, the thermal paper and everything.
So then you
cost them a decent amount.
So you either had to step up your game, had to get a thermal printer,
or walk away from the game before you get in too much trouble,
and move on with life.
Yeah,
go to the next hustle, right?
Which the next hustle. And so, being that I've always been very business-minded, there's tons of different instances, me being a young age and kind of doing those sorts of things.
Yeah, you hear this all the time of where people kind of started from the beginning of saying, I want to do this, or I really want, to start something. And, whether your parents had something or nothing, that's not the point. You always just wake up and, when you're a kid, you're like, okay, I think I can sell this and make money.
Yep. And
because I want to buy more baseball cards. In my case, I want to buy more little Hot Wheels or Micro Machines. Whatever the
Pokemon, the paintball guns. It was whatever the trend was at the time.
Yeah, it was. If you're a more savvy guy, you would have been hustling and making more money. But that was always my motivation. Is something simple as that, because you're a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, and okay, I want this.
The Tommy Pickles of the hustle. There we go.
Right. So you were saying you were doing all that with report cards and merchandise. So where does it take us to now?
So the restaurant industry, I mean, I've been in it my entire life. Of course.
You went to Anderson School of Business at UNM.
Yeah, went to Anderson School of Business.
Got your BBA, right?
Yeah, got my BBA, and that was actually after I started working here. So initially.
Oh, okay. So there's okay. I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah. So I worked at I Finance, the restaurant on top of the mountain.
Yeah, we were just there with a friend of mine. Just went up there last night. It was a lot of fun.
Gorgeous. They're actually apparently going to tear it down and rebuild.
Oh, okay.
Which
yeah,
is
you scared me there
yeah.
for a second.
I mean, the restaurant was starting to get in need of some new format.
When I went there last night, I'm going to take a small side. I got really like sentimental because I grew up on that mountain. My mom was a ski patroller, so ever since I was like a 5-year-old Chris or maybe 4-year-old Chris, we would ski that mountain and we'd go get hot cocoa at the top of High Finance. And I was going down to the bathroom like, this is still the same thing I remember from when I was like, 25 years ago.
Well, I think part of the issue, that's a national forest, right? So you have to get a special permit to do different construction.
Yeah, and how they haul that up, they have to do helicopters, they have to drive all that equipment up the mountain.
They either drive it up the back or they take it up at the tram first thing in the morning or last tram at the end of the night.
That's right. On the tram, the tram car before we left, they were bringing up water and supplies and taking trash and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. That was a little side, but man, so they're going to tear it down and rebuild. So
and rebuild, yeah.
You had, my heart sank for about half a second, and then you said rebuild, and then I was like, okay, we're all is well in the universe.
There we go.
Because it's really cool to go up there.
It's a gorgeous view, and I think they're going to build it, of course, with that in mind.
Modern standards,
Yeah, modern standards. You make it more wheelchair accessible, of
course.
Oh,
okay, cool, ADA approved.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I'd worked in, that was a fine dining experience, worked there for 3 years, and then...
That's where you got your basically your BBA in food business, right?
In the food business, and if anyone's ever worked in a full service restaurant, at a young age you're exposed to a lot of different things.
Well, tomfoolery,
shenanigans.
In some case, shenanigans, vulgar language, rude customers, really cool customers.
Yeah, so you get we had Snoop Dogg go up there a couple of times.
Snoop-a-loop?
Yeah, so consider him a good friend of mine. I met him once.
What's his food of choice up there? Did he go calamari or what does he do?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Sure, it was delicious. Regardless of what he enjoyed it.
Oh, he took the tram up too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah, so
that makes me smile.
That was a fun experience. People when they come in town, they like to get the view.
Yeah, when friends come in, I always try to take them up to the tram because you have to show them that. It's always really cool. It's always fun.
The lights at night, it's perfect. You get the sunset right up.
That's what we did last night, man.
There you go.
You go there before sunset. You see it's kind of the light and then the sunset, and then you go have like a hot cocoa, play in the snow, come back out, and then now you see the glittery. Is that a real word?
That's it.
The shimmering of the lights. I got to be, I guess, somewhat grammatically correct here. The shimmering of the lights. Guys, come on now.
Yeah. So I worked there for 3 years, and things went well. It was a good experience. I decided to go work at Chick-fil-A after that. They were opening a new Chick-fil-A off Paseo.
So you're like, okay, let's get this High Finance's roll to another place and check it out.
And chicken it was.
So this is like your sophomore or junior year in the food game. That was freshman year up there, right?
Actually, I started working up there when I was, I believe, 15. Maybe I was 14 and a half.
Oh, okay. Child labor laws?
Yeah, whatever the minimum age was. I think I skirted it by a couple of months.
Sure, you lied on that. Yeah, I'm 18.
So, exactly. That was a really good experience to kind of see, that nice full restaurant experience, and then to move into Chick-fil-A, which is...
Yeah, when I met you were at Chick-fil-A. And you, at the time, you were managing Chick-fil-A?
So, at the time, I was a kitchen manager at the time.
Okay. Now, how did you, because you started off as what?
Base employee.
Basic employee.
We did the grand opening, which was huge.
Base employee responsibilities. Were you cashier or?
So I was
were you making those little breakfast nugget sandwiches?
I did a lot of that. So
those things are delicious.
Oh, they're amazing. The honey butter they put on them.
Oh,
that's the secret, is the honey butter.
A coworker brought those in, and I was like, oh my god, get these out of my immediate view because I'm just going to hunker down here with the lawn chair.
They have a good breakfast. Not a lot of people know about that.
Yeah, it's really good. They take the chicken nugget, put it under like this square biscuit thing.
Yeah, it's a little roll, little mini bun.
It's a roll, and I guess they sprinkle some sauce or...
Yeah, it's a honey butter spread they wipe on there.
And to die for. You can do like a 6er or maybe a 12er.
Yeah, it's delicious, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting sidetracked.
Talking about food again.
Yeah, we're going to get sidetracked a lot in this episode, so we're going to go on tangents, we're going to go left, we're going to go right, we're going to go up, down, but follow us here. It'll be a lot of fun.
So to build on that Chick-fil-A, I was there for just around 3 years as well.
So now we're 6 years in the total game.
6 years in the game, and
You worked from back of
full
house
service restaurant. I worked back of house
to kitchen manager.
To kitchen manager.
Now, what did you accredit your success to? I mean, if you would have said, or when you look back and say, what did I do right?
A lot of
it's
it.
not just one thing.
A lot of it, and all honesty,
goes
back to the way I was raised. My parents, my mom, and my dad. My mom had this cleaning list, and she was always, very, very industrious. It was every fourth week we had to do a strict detail of a certain room. There were 4 kids, but every week we had to clean a certain room. So at a young age, she, instilled in me a very good work ethic, as did my dad. Compassionate work ethic. He was always working. He's an electrician.
My dad was an electrician.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
IBEW. There we go.
Yeah. What is IBW?
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
Oh yeah. He's actually when I was 7 or 8, I was doing electrical work.
Okay.
Child labor laws again. But that's like you just grew up in the family business.
You grew up and he's teaching you. You're sticking forks inside the plugs, and he's like, that's the improper way to do it.
Yeah, and you have that little meter, and it says yellow light, 2 orange lights. Plug is properly grounded, no faults. We're good to go. Next plug.
Finding the studs in the walls. He's very hands-on. He's a tradesman. You're familiar with that. So very upbringing where you're gonna do work. It's almost like the John Smith, those who work eat. That concept from the Pilgrims, which helped build America's.
Yeah, great example going way back to the Pilgrim days. But there was never a time where it was an option to. Mm-hmm. And nowadays everybody has that option because you see unemployment at 4% or whatever it is, or realistically it's probably higher, 8% maybe.
The real unemployment.
Yeah, because the fake one is just what is measured over 2 months' time or something like that.
I don't necessarily remember.
Away.
Yeah, but I think that sounds correct.
Who cares? But so your work ethic brought down from the parents, top down.
Yeah, top down. That helps me. In a kitchen environment, you have to grind, especially at a Chick-fil-A where it's constant business. I mean, they are. I think.
It's a pure madness, dude.
It's ridiculous the amount
here
of
in
sales
Albuquerque.
that they do. Here in Albuquerque.
I don't know about other markets.
Yeah, the one on Passaic when they first opened up.
Oh, it was like when Chipotle opened on the first one.
They're breaking records.
Yeah, this is like a line, dude.
And the cool thing about Chick-fil-A, and you can have your issues with them, their stances on certain things, but as far as
who cares though, right?
Brand protection, brand quality, they're top notch. I mean, they ensure that even the base employee has good rapport with the customer, that you're able to deal with guests in a manner that reflects properly on the brand. They make sure you're trained properly. I think you have to go through 12 hours of training before you even start.
Oh, cool.
So they're paying you 12 hours, to sit and watch videos,
now,
which translates well into the product.
When I think about videos, I always think about this video I used to watch with my friend John Elder from episode 2. What's that movie with Ryan Reynolds and they had that restaurant? Shenanigans.
Oh, Shenanigans.
I forget the movie name, but remember on Shenanigans they had to watch that video? Uh-huh. The new guy had to watch it in the back closet of there's a cheesy thing and the guy snaps and he disappears and So when you say videos in a restaurant, I always think of that.
Of John, when I...
Not John Elder, but I mean that video, Shenanigans, where the guys watch... You know what I'm talking about.
Well, speaking of you and John Elder...
Yeah,
speaking of you and John Elder, that reminds me of coming home from hours, 12-hour shifts at Chick-fil-A and coming home to you guys in my room watching Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah, that was a great movie. Shout out to Tropic Thunder.
Multiple times a day.
Hey, it was a great movie. I can't repeat my favorite parts because this is an explicit episode, of course, but that goes beyond explicit.
That crosses a couple of lines. Great movie. Watch it. You probably know exactly what we're talking about.
I forgot the guy, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is in there. Is
Tom Cruise.
Goldberg or Goldstein?
Oh, yeah, something like that. Anything Tom Cruise scenes, amazing. They make me laugh.
Yeah,
it's like words like Ari Gold when he freaks out.
Yeah, he was supposed to play Tuck Speedman in the movie, but due to conflicts, he couldn't play Tuck Speedman, so they wrote that part specifically for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Interesting little.
Yeah. Now I gotta watch it again and be like, oh, that would have been Tom Cruise.
Imagine how that would have worked out without Ben Stiller.
Yeah. Crazy. Mind blown.
Where were we though? We were talking about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we're talking about Chick-fil-A, and we're talking about training videos of 12 hours. And we took a tangent. Now we're back.
And here we are, full circle somehow. Pause that. Dan, I would hold off on the vent until we open, if you could. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan, the guy.
So yeah, Chick-fil-A. I mean, it taught me a lot of basics about quick service because it's not fast food. They call it quick service.
What's the difference between fast food and quick service?
So fast
for people
food,
who don't know,
for people that don't know, fast food is going to be. I mean, McDonald's is kind of starting to transition into the QSR, quick service restaurant concept as well because they've seen it's worked.
This is obviously QSR.
Yeah, this is a QSR.
Or is it full?
It's a hybrid. So it's full service and more QSR.
Okay.
So we bring the food out. It's all cooked to order.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a hybrid, a little bit of in between, which a lot of concepts are kind of emerging concepts. Brand new ones are following the same route. You don't want to be fast food because in today's market, a lot of people are looking. There's a stigma there. It's unhealthy, and people are looking for quality nowadays. They're looking for something
you can
that's
kind
a
of
little bit
see
more fresh.
branding change through other competitors. You see Wendy's branding has
They
changed.
have a fireplace there now, I believe.
I go to a Wendy's and I actually go inside. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
No, I can't say about that of all Wendy's markets, but I'm talking about the Albuquerque market. They've redone all of them.
And
you
they're,
go in there,
they're trying to roll that out to everyone.
And I've actually sat in a Wendy's and be like, oh, this is nice.
Kind of following, the Starbucks trend of, this isn't just a place to eat. This is a place to kind of come, hang out, enjoy some food and enjoy some company instead of let's see how many seats we
it's not just
a time.
mass volume. They've kind of shifted. So it's interesting you brought that up. I've noticed that, but I didn't know the terms, and I didn't know that everybody's shifting to that. So it's interesting. McDonald's more high-end. They're doing breakfast all day. I don't know if that matters, but they've redone the stores here in town as well.
Yeah, exact same thought behind that. If you want to keep you have to constantly reinvent yourself as a restaurant, especially. But all brands have to.
You have to rebrand yourself. What, minimum 5 years? Redo your restaurant.
Redo the restaurant.
Maybe minimum 3 years.
So I mean that depending on the concept, it's all dependent on what you're looking to do, what you're looking to accomplish. But to build Chick-fil-A, taught me a lot of these basic principles that I always had, but I didn't necessarily know.
You didn't make the connections.
To make the connections. Growing up, being business minded, how to deal with guests. How to kind of work around, problem solve. Entrepreneurship is just problem solving at its core.
Right. It's just constant failure, and we talked about this in another episode. It's constant failure. It's one constant failure feedback loop. Mm-hmm. So not every day's glorious, money's raining from the ceiling. Usually it's the quite opposite.
Yeah.
And
90% of the time it's the opposite.
And no one really shows you that side of the business. They just show you the external benefits like the store or maybe the nice house or the nice watch, the nice car, whatever it is, because you see that on Instagram all the time, but no one shows you the day-to-day grind of what it takes.
Exactly. And the grind is what makes it.
The first 5 to 10 years of where you've been here, like basically living in the kitchen on a couch somewhere.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you had those days, but I'm just using an example.
No, definitely. I mean, there's that seating over there. I've actually fallen asleep over there because I was too tired to drive home.
Yeah, and you're like, I got to be here in 5 hours.
I got to be here in the morning anyways. Might as well not, cut out the middleman.
Yeah. So if you see a guy sleeping at Urban Hotdog Company at 3 a.m., knock on the door, maybe he'll make you a dog. We just don't know.
If you had money, I would love to. Even if you didn't and you wanted a good hot dog, chances are I'd be more than willing.
So you don't really see that in the social media space of what it really takes. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that you're talking about that. Now, fast food versus QSR, go back into what that difference is. I think I know what you're talking about, but it's
starting to be a little bit more of a blurred line, but initially, you could say McDonald's was fast food.
We definitely would say that. Even they say it on the sign. Doesn't it say on the side?
Does it now? I'm not.
Or didn't it?
I believe it did.
Yeah, I don't know if it does now. Now I got to drive and look, but I thought it did say McDonald's fast food, right?
But yeah, it's food where you go up, you go to the counter to go pick it up. You're not getting any extra amenities, extra service. Whereas Chick-fil-A, one of their mantras is go the second mile. Yeah, you can walk a mile for someone, but you can always go the second mile for them. Anticipate their needs.
I'm going to go off on a religious tangent here, if you don't mind.
Go for it. This is your podcast.
Yeah, but you're religious. You're Catholic, right?
Yes, sir.
So you understand. I'm Christian. This brings me back to that scripture that reminds me of when. So back in, I think it was Jerusalem times, they had the armies. And that phrase, I think, to walk a mile in someone's shoes, comes from the actual, when an army member came into the city, you were supposed to carry his weaponry and his shields and his armor for 1 mile. Okay. Do you remember this scripture?
I can't remember that scripture, but...
I don't remember I'll link up the scripture, but then the Lord says, or Jesus says, go that extra mile, go 2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Carry it 2 miles. Instead of 1, because 1 is the bare minimum. 1 is what by law you had to carry it. If you saw a soldier walking, if you saw a soldier now walking the street, I would have to carry his backpack and his gun for a mile along his journey. Then someone else would carry it, and someone else. But in the scripture it says, go the extra mile and maybe go 2 miles, maybe go 3 miles. Put that extra love in there. So
don't do the bare minimum, and I think that's applicable to every facet.
And that's
of
what
your
you're talking
life.
about. Chick-fil-A, instead of going the 1 mile, which is carrying the armor and the heavy stuff 1 mile, go 2 miles.
Exactly.
And carry it 2 miles. Also, there's another one that I'm thinking of. I'm going to go another tangent. Do you remember when Mary was carrying water? So I think Joseph, there's a lot of Marys and a lot of people.
There are a couple of Marys in that when she's pulling the water up through the well.
Yeah, she's pulling the water for the well and feeding the camels. And she said, I'm going to feed your whole camp. No, the Lord. Maybe I'm making this not right because a lot of things going on in my mind right now. But the gist of it is this very wealthy guy had a bunch of camels and he was stopping to fill up his camels with water. And Mary was at the well.
The well. And
the thing was she was told that she's going to meet a guy and that her job was to feed all of his camels. Mm-hmm. Do you remember? Am I saying this right?
I mean, it sounds vaguely familiar.
And so she did that, and she didn't have just one camel, or he didn't have just one camel. He had like 50 camels, and each camel takes like 3 or 4 gallons of water. So she fed all of his camels, and they ended up marrying it and having a good time and all this kind of stuff. But I'll link that scripture up. These are just good stories from the Bible that make you. The time of going the extra mile.
Exactly, regardless of your religious or not. I mean, there's a lot you can take from the Bible
these
itself.
Fables and these stories. And don't take this as me pushing any kind of Christianity or religious. I'm just telling you stories that make sense, that relate to what you're saying.
No, definitely.
So, she could have just given pulled up 1 gallon of water, fed.
Called it a day.
Called it a day and moved on. But no, she fed all 50 of his camels with like 5 gallons of water. And now that's like 150 gallons of water, or whatever.
That's a lot of water to pull.
And then now she married him, and now she never has to pull that, work like that again because he was a very wealthy guy, and they ended up getting married because that's what the story was like. You're going to meet somebody at the well.
Okay.
And I'll look it up, link up the story. Really good story. Also, the soldier one, really cool story.
Definitely.
Sorry.
No, it plays into everything. Going that extra mile, and that's kind of these basic principles. My father and my mom and grandparents, everyone's kind of always taught me to be very caring and put others' needs first, and that was always part of me. And Chick-fil-A, the service industry, the food industry brings that out. If you have that, that base, if you have that, that skill or that drive, that to help other people,
passion.
If you have that, the food service industry is perfect for that.
Yeah. Well, this industry, like you said, is perfect for someone who's just charismatic. You go to a place like Witch. Have you been to Witch over on University? Yeah. And the owner's right there. You know the owner guy?
At University, I haven't met him. I met Matt, the owner, over the one on the sale one out by that Wendy's. It's behind the Wendy's. High Desert Bicycle.
Yeah, I didn't know there was one there. That's
they built one maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Possibly.
I've never either noticed.
I've been there for a while. The owner, Matt, very, very nice guy. He's there fairly often.
Yeah. You go to these places. I just bring up Witch because I remember going there, and the owner's right there. He's so excited about the business, and I can tell he's so excited. He was so excited about getting me a Coke or a water, or did I want green chili, or did I want...
And that's what they're doing. I mean,
I just got so excited about just purchasing this thing. I was all fired up. And when you go back there, and you're like, and he just shares that passion. It just oozes out, and I kind of see that through you in the urban business. Because you always talk about, I got this hot dog, and I see you on Facebook doing this, and
it's funny. Growing up, you asked, hot dogs. Why hot dogs? That's a question I get a lot, and it has to do with why not hot dogs? If there's so much that can be done with it, and the fact that you get to change people's minds with a hot dog. When you think of a hot dog, and we could get into this later, is
we get into it now.
Mustard and ketchup, or
when you told
July,
me, when you told me you owned a hot dog place, or you were working at the time, we didn't get into that story. We haven't even left the Chick-fil-A. So
we haven't left Chick-fil-A yet. We're still at Chick-fil-A. We're still.
Okay,
I'm still 18, 19.
I'm going to hold this thought. Let's go to 19 to 20. Let's keep moving.
So start at UNM. Was fall 09.
Okay.
Joined a fraternity. Same fraternity Chris is in, Phi Gamma Delta.
Right.
I gained a lot of lessons from that. Gleaned a lot of stuff. A lot of good friendships that have carried over, obviously.
Right.
We can brush over that to kind of speed things along here, but it's a very, very important part of my life. it's not what you see in the movies, of course. It's a lot of it is built on brotherhood, friendship, and connections.
Yeah, you really get a sense of, you really get to meet a lot of people. That's where I met Adam Ronell's, different fraternity. But you get to meet a lot of people. I always saw the fraternity as three things, and I've told you guys this, is you're going to either get one of these three things out wherever you're deficient. You're going to get social out of it. So if you're not really good at social and you're living in your mom's basement, you know how to talk to people, join a fraternity when you go to college. If you go to college, because you don't have to go to college, you can just start a lemonade stand somewhere and build a bigger lemonade stand.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to college, but if you do go and you're not really good at social game, join a fraternity. If you need help studying, you're not really good at studying, join a fraternity because you will meet other people who are highly
High
smart.
focus on grades.
Mackenzie
Woods, brilliant.
Brilliant guy. Or you're not really good at dating. Oh, that's more social. Sorry, that's social. But if you're not really good at money management, you'll learn real fast how to do that in a fraternity because you always have to pay dues and you always have this and you're always doing that. So that's my three things you always get out of a fraternity. And if you're deficient at one of those,
I believe the saying is it turns boys into young men or young men into contributing members of society,
right?
Which it certainly does.
And you get a lot of connections out of, like you said. So let's brush past that. You graduated. We're just going to jump to graduation. You did the whole thing. You threw the cap in the air.
Well, yeah. So I actually took a year and a half off after. We opened this place. Dave Kleinfeld, the concept creator, brilliant guy, huge mentor in my life. I can't thank him enough, Dave. If you happen to stumble upon this.
Yeah, if you're watching or listening,
you've made a huge impact in my life. Obviously, you know that. But you've taught me so many different lessons, and he was for some reason he trusted me upon opening this place, which was October 2012.
It's beautiful. We'll do some B-roll later.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous setup. Dave definitely had a strong vision. Came up with a lot of the initial menu, and all these things was a lot of him testing, and he saw a market that wasn't being
I don't think there's a gourmet hot dog place in town besides this.
There's not. I mean, there's a couple places that serve hot dogs, and you kind of start to take things to the next level, but since we focus solely on hot dogs here, I mean, we take it to a complete different level. I mean, and we can post some pictures, have them scrolling or what have you to kind of see what we're talking about here if you haven't been in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll link up your Facebook page below here in the description section, right? Where I link up all my stuff. We'll link up some your Facebook, your website. It's worth checking out. I mean, I didn't know this. I really didn't, to be honest. When you told me I worked at the Urban Hotdog Factory, I'm like, so you just sell like hot dogs, like. And you're like the guy at the baseball stadium. I don't,
That's a question I get often when you think of hot dogs. Do you think of a little shack, or you think of a little stand? And here we have the menu.
And then you can see if you can kind of see it, or I can see
it. You may not be able to read it. You can. Yeah, that slides out right down.
I'm going to slide this out.
You may not be able to read the menu, but it's very extensive. It's a little intimidating when you walk in. There's so many different options. We make everything in house. I mean, just to give you a slight example.
Let's just say. Or what's the highest seller?
So one of the best sellers is the Crafty Dog. It's a homemade 3-cheese mac and cheese. On top we put bacon bits, breadcrumbs, all on top of the hot dog with that delicious bun. Amazing with the New Mexico green chili we get in. Another really amazing one is a fully loaded. So we wrap a hot dog in potato skins, deep fry it so it forms a potato chip around the hot dog.
Oh, this sounds healthy.
Then we put some horseradish sour cream, a little bit of cheddar cheese, melt it, some bacon, and chives on top. To just give you a little, idea, I do tofu, I do an all organic, all beef hot dog.
Okay, so it's not just...
It's not just hot dogs. I mean, I do an amazing beer battered North Atlantic cod.
Oh, I saw that. That's the special of the week.
Yeah, it's special of the week, and I'm constantly doing specials, adding things. So there's more to it than just hot dogs.
But it's so crazy that you can just take something so simple as hot dogs and make a business out of it. Are these guys coming? Are they doing something else? Oh, there's people in the parking lot doing weird, sketchy New Mexico things.
Welcome to New Mexico.
Yeah.
But I mean, I forget where we were as far as discussing.
Oh no.
So yeah, I took time off. I took a year and a half off school. Dave brought me in to help kind of run the front of house, and there was a gentleman that
How did you meet Dave?
Actually, it was very serendipitous. Good story. My brother works at Wells Fargo.
The priest?
No, the banker.
Okay.
The priest is doing priest things, not so much into the physical
commodities game?
Yeah, more into the spiritual commodities game, if you will. It's definitely a white-collar job.
Sure, no. I just remember your brother, the priest, for whatever reason.
It sticks in the mind.
Because remember at your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, your other brother was there and your sister, but for some reason I just remember your brother, the priest. Sorry.
Well, he's always wearing his cassock, so it definitely sticks out. So we balance each other out. I like to say he's the yin, I'm the yang,
Yeah.
So, Dave brought in another guy to kind of be the GM.
Right.
And
well, how did you meet Dave? We didn't.
We're talking about the priest and the castics, and here we are. So my brother opened up the bank account for when Dave was starting this.
Okay.
So my brother sends me a text, say, hey, this guy is opening up a hot dog restaurant. You want to go check it out. I was at Chick-fil-A for 3 years at the time. He was kind of itching to do something new.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hot dogs, I don't think that's going to be able
Yeah, you had the same idea I had. Well, I mean, it's just it's a very self-limiting thought.
Yeah, he said it was near the mall, and my thought was hot dog on a stick immediately. That it was
Oh,
inside
that's
the
right.
mall.
That is another hot dog game.
So
That's corn dogs, really, right?
It's something.
Okay, we're not going to that. We're not into that business.
But
they also sell hot dogs.
Based off our
good lemonade though.
Good, amazing lemonade.
We can say they have good lemonade.
Good service as well.
Okay.
Nice hats.
Nice hats. I love their lemonade.
It's good stuff.
You know what's sad is Dion's got rid of their pink lemonade.
Really?
Yeah, now they only have.
I usually get the Arizona green tea anyways.
Oh, so you're not even. You don't know my lemonade problems.
I don't. Hashtag lemonade problems.
Yeah, I'm a pink lemonade guy.
I love the pink lemonade's where it's at.
Okay, so
I digress.
We got into lemonade. Now we're back.
So, brother opened up a bank account. Dave brought me in for an interview. Hired me. I thought hot dogs weird, but I'll try it out. I'll take a pay cut. Took a pay cut from Chick-fil-A to come help run the front of house portions of everything.
Right.
And brought me on the ground floor. None of this was here. So we're still doing the build out.
Oh, okay.
This used to be a Quiznos, so all of this had to be redone. The floors. I mean, he did a very, very good job. He has a great vision and
this was
good people working
Quiznos?
with. This used to be a Quiznos. This space area.
I can't picture it.
Well, he's done a lot.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it.
Obviously,
David's done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Of course.
But no, sometimes you go into places like, oh, this used to be something. I can't put my finger on it.
And
was it a subway?
He was definitely very careful to change that.
But
so,
I mean, this has a very specific brand and
exactly.
look. I couldn't say, oh yeah, this used to be Quiznos.
Well, a lot of people think it's a franchise when they walk in.
Yeah.
Because of the look and feel of it. You don't get your mom and pop thought. You don't get this must be local. You think this must be a concept from somewhere else.
Yeah, nice branding. Okay.
Fantastic branding.
So you met him through your banker brother. He set up the bank account. He said, get over there, check it out. And you're like, okay, let's try something new. Took a pay cut. Now we're here. Now we're scrubbing floors.
We're scrubbing floors. I'm here literally.
Ground zero.
Yeah, ground zero. I mean, I think the first
were you the first employee?
There was a guy hired above me to be the GM.
Oh, okay.
And two months in, things didn't end up working out with him. I was the younger, cheaper
the young
guy,
hustler?
Of course, the young hustler.
The young gun?
Who had the passion.
The YG?
Yeah, I didn't know much about... I thought I knew everything because I was, 20 at the time, but I knew nothing. Maybe I was 21. I knew nothing.
But you thought you knew
I thought I knew everything. So I had the perfect amount of confidence. So I came in here and, 2 months in, Dave said, you think you can run this place on your own?
Of course.
Of course. Me saying, yeah, a restaurant, easy.
Yeah.
Give me 2 stores and then it might be a challenge. So,
but of course, at the time, I always, I get this quote from Grant Cardone. You know G. Cardone?
No, I do not know.
Okay, he's a big guy, investor guy, but he always says, always overcommit yourself, and then don't worry about the details, just show up and you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's basically what you did.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you're basically like, he's like, can you run this store? And you're like thinking, maybe, I don't know, but you said, yes, I can do it.
Yeah,
right? Because I'm sure that's what you thought.
Yeah, I thought I could, and coming down to it, there was a ton I didn't know, a ton that I thought Chick-fil-A
but you just show up.
Me for. And I was here, and it goes back to the work ethic. I always made sure it was completed. I mean, there were nights where I was still kind of in my younger age. I was still having parties at the house.
Right.
We'd throw a party. I'd work a 15-hour day. I'd come home. People would be playing beer pong at the house, having people over.
Right.
I'd do that for a little while, and then after the games, Lenny and my roommate Doug at the time, they would come out and see me on the computer afterwards, typing up, this is going to be the way the store is run.
Right.
And I would do
that.
A
business plan, maybe.
Yeah, I do that until
Here's
about
employee 2,
3, 4 in the morning, and then.
Oh, is he coming in?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
3, 4 in the morning, and then come back and be at the store back at 9.
How's it going,
How's it going, Mario? Another fantastic employee.
Mario is a hizzy.
Good staff. So it's taking things from there. Things kind of we're good on time.
Yeah. No, we're good on time.
Let me run the store, and I don't know why he did it.
But he did.
He trusted me. I was 21 at the time. You don't trust someone with a $100,000 plus investment.
That he's banking on. You have no skin in the game.
I had no skin in the game, but I was already here.
And he has all of it.
And
he's like, that's a good question. maybe later you'll ask him in life.
Definitely.
You still have his number and everything.
Yeah, we still talk very regularly.
That'd be a good question to ask maybe later.
No, definitely.
Why did you trust me with this? Because now we're rolling.
I can't explain it, but he did for some reason. And
sometimes you find that in life where you get these seemingly breakthroughs in life, and you're like,
definitely one of them.
And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think this was possible yesterday. And you always kind of hope and pray and believe that, and as long as you believe it. And
you just got to put yourself in this situation, and I put myself in this situation.
You got to take risks.
I took the risk. I took a pay cut. I dropped out of college. When I told people I dropped out of college for a hot dog restaurant, that went over fantastically.
Yeah, your mom's like.
Oh, I didn't even tell them. I didn't even tell the parents. They thought I was still going to school at the time. Mom, Dad,
great,
love you guys. Yeah.
Here's a report card.
Here's the. I'd made some stupid mistakes. I'd lost my lottery scholarship, so I was paying everything out of pocket, anyways.
Right.
So I figured, take some time off. Let's see how this restaurant thing kind of works out. So I did it for about 2 years, and then hanging out with you guys. I kind of realized, there's more to me than just this, that I need to further my education if I want to further myself.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily for everyone, but for me, there's a strong need and a strong hunger for the education, especially on the business aspect.
Right.
Might as well round myself out. I figured I can make a lot of contacts within multiple industries, a lot of networking. And that's the biggest thing about business school anyways, is the networking.
Yeah, I go through and meet a lot of people that I've took classes with, sat to the left and right of, or behind or in front of, and you see them now and you're like, okay, yeah, I know you're doing this, can you help me out with that? I'll give you this. And so you're doing all this networking, but I'm sure you learned more day one in this business than you did in business school throughout the 4 years.
Definitely.
I'm not dissing University of New Mexico Business School of Anderson.
Which is amazing. Which
is a great
students.
I learned a lot of that, marketing through that. I learned finances,
Accounting was the biggest thing I learned.
Yeah, me too, accounting. And remember that finance class we had to take with our HP 12C calculator?
Yeah, finance was rough. I think that was my only B after I came back. So I wasn't a model student before when I dropped out, but I came back and hustling, and I was ready to go. I finished Anderson in a year and a half, as opposed to the 2 years.
Nice.
I was taking 18 credit hours while working 50 to 60 hours a week here.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
It was a grind.
So if you want to tell people how it's done, that's how it's done, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this opportunity kind of came to itself. Dave was looking kind of to release some operations of the restaurant. So it kind of made sense, for me to jump on that opportunity at the time. I was finishing up my last semester at UNM.
Right.
And
now you're breathing and sleeping hot dogs.
At that point, and I was scared, but I put myself in the situation, and I said, who cares if I'm not done with school yet? Let's jump on this opportunity.
Yeah.
So my last semester, I was finishing up at UNM, and I had bought the restaurant in February of this past year, so it's almost been a full year. And it was hell initially. Trying to do finals, trying to figure everything out. Professors at UNM were very understanding, figuring out what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say in entrepreneurship game or just game of life that it's riskier not to take this risk, because the risk is, if you don't take this risk, is a life of mediocre and average.
And that's how I looked at it.
Or working for someone else, making someone else's dreams become a reality, right? Because if you stay at Chick-fil-A, you're just making that GM or the franchise owner more money.
More money, exactly.
Right? Which is not a bad thing, because you got your BBA there, you got your minor degree there,
and minor in chicken slanging and.
But now you said, hey, I want to take this risk on myself, and what I can do now. The only thing that's holding you back is yourself, of course.
And right? I didn't, cost benefit. I looked at, why not take this risk now? You're young. I don't have a family to support at the moment. I don't.
Well, this is the time to do that.
All sorts of things. So I don't have anything weighing me back. If I had a family at the time, wife, kids, I don't know if I would have necessarily. I think I would have gone. As hindsight, I'd say yeah, I do. But if I at the time had the wife and the kids, I would say, this isn't a risk. I should take the classic job where I can start feeding into retirement, where I can make sure I have a safe bet, something for my kid to kind of fall back on as well.
Sure. So it's different.
Take the sure thing. I was at the point in my life where I've always been one to take risks, so might as well.
All right, moving the mic up here just in case we got some banging noises. But yeah, this is a business, so that's what we get. So now that you started everything here, basically did it yourself with the help of Dave, and the GM.
Huge help with Dave. He was here for about 2 months, the GM, and then that's when
he was gone, and then that's where you're like, okay, now we have to actually do this.
Exactly.
You had a team. Did you have a team built at that time, or did you hire people? Or?
Yeah, so we hired. From the get-go, probably 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, we hired people, brought them on, had a strong staff. When you're hiring for opening a restaurant, you always overhire for any business, of course, because you're gonna you're gonna figure some people are gonna figure out this isn't for them, or they're gonna something else is gonna come up, especially in the restaurant industry with such a high turnover rate. You overhire, and then you can always cut thin the staff a little bit. They thin themselves out, so you don't have to worry about it.
And they'll show up late or do half-ass work.
Yeah. And so a lot of it was a learning experience. I think we hired initially 15, maybe 20 people on, and then cut from that.
So where are we at today? This is how many years in of the hot dog game?
So
this is a good 3 or 4 years.
This is 3 years. At our 3-year anniversary in October of 2012.
Congratulations!
Thank you. My year.
2012.
October 2012.
Oh, okay, yeah. So 3 years.
So 3 years, and then my year of ownership of this location will come to a year at the end of this month.
Oh,
January.
congratulations!
So that was I believe you're out for the Super Bowl that trip. Did you come out for that trip?
Yeah.
That was my last.
Yeah, I remember.
That was my last hurrah.
We went to Phoenix, and we celebrated for the Super Bowl, of course.
Yeah.
But that was. I remember you saying this is
the last time I'm going to see you guys for the next at least 6 to 8 months.
More like 6 to 8 years now.
Exactly. So that was the last of Fun Burnby, as some people like to refer to him as.
Well, now we're in the dark ages, and I mean the dark ages, as Gary Vee would say. This is the hustle years. They say, well, you're not 30 yet, but they say the first 30 years of your life are for learning. The next 30 years are for hustling, and then the final 30 of your life is for sharing and helping others.
Definitely.
So you're still in the learning phase.
Well, definitely.
And the hustle phase.
I'm only 25, still in the learning hustle phase.
You're like 26, dude. You spent 9 months in the womb, right?
Well, there we go.
You don't count that 9 months.
But
so you're 25.
I was hustling in the womb. There we go. I could have been like a tiger shark. For those of you that don't know, a tiger shark, I believe there's 2 of them born in a womb at a time within the shark, and then they fight for the right to be birthed, pretty much. So it's like gladiators. I'm pretty sure I might just be making this up. 90% certain. Someone Google these facts. Fact check me.
I will fact check this, and then once again link this up.
Yeah. And they fight in the womb, and the one that is,
so you could have had a twin. We just don't know.
Family
Guy. Remember that twin?
Where you? Stewie's twin.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a twin. That was like Stewie's. Like, remember?
Oh, where she was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
We'll figure it out. But nonetheless, tiger shark.
Really? So you won the battle. So you're 25 in 9 months.
Yeah, 25 in 9 months.
No one counts the 9 months when you're in the womb.
Well, how far are we going to go back? How far are we going to go back and count? You want to?
Yeah, I don't want to go far than that, because this is going to include details of your parents that I don't want to know.
That you don't want to think about. Okay. No, but to go back and, I definitely want to give Dave his due credit. I mean, he's still... So the way this was kind of set up was a franchise deal. So this is a franchise deal with the only...
Does he still have a part of it? Or
yeah, so he still owns the brand.
Oh, okay.
So one of my goals is to...
Buy him out of that?
Buy out the brand, and, instead of treating the hot dog as the product, treat the brand as the product.
Yeah.
Which is what Ray Kroc did with McDonald's.
Yeah.
He actually bought McDonald's from a gentleman, I forget, no one remembers his name because he's not the billionaire. Now.
Right. Now, you're right. I do know this story, but I don't remember his name.
But exactly. So you don't remember his name, but, he got bought out for what he deemed was a fair deal. And Ray Kroc started, the franchise model. He started treating the restaurant as the product. And this isn't a concept that's going to be like a McDonald's. I mean, this is a high-end concept.
Sure.
But I think it can be replicated.
Yeah, you could drop one of these and scale this into the Heights.
And the Heights
would be perfect.
I think it fits a food truck concept perfectly.
Oh, food truck.
I'm working on my beer and wine license as well, which kind of plays into everything.
There's new food truck licenses of town where you can't have a food truck within 100 feet of a restaurant. So
yeah, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. Definitely, you have to be able to navigate the market, and differently than you used to before.
Yeah, so I mean, there's challenges. This is business, guys. What do you want me to tell you? there's no magic bullet here.
There's not. But I mean, that's the end goal.
But that's the fun of it too. You're like, okay, now I got thrown this.
Exactly, and that's
you can open a food
truck
in Vegas or something. Doesn't mean that you have to have a food truck here.
Yeah, doesn't necessarily have to be here. The beautiful thing about it being here would be I could base the
manage.
base and manage it out of the restaurant. Most food trucks have to rent out a commissary kitchen where they keep their product for health code purposes.
Oh yeah, but you already have it here.
But I already have it here.
You have your base station.
Exactly.
You have the food truck.
And if the food truck's not in someone's area, you can direct them to the brick and mortar here.
Yeah, and realistically thinking about it, 100 feet's not that far.
It's not at all. And my thought on it
sounds like
is,
a large thing when they say it.
If a hot dog food truck pulls up,
100 feet, they could sell over there.
They could sell over there, even if they were right up front. If they were putting
they could sell by
business,
that dumpster. That dumpster's 100 feet, right? No, not that one, but that blue one over there.
Yeah. But I mean, even if they were to park right in front of me, I'd like to think that if they were putting me out of business, I'd be doing a couple of things wrong.
Yeah, you have bigger problems.
Yeah, I'd have bigger problems than...
if a van can put you out of business, we have bigger issues.
Obviously, they can undercut me on certain costs, but I also have more buying power as possibly.
Well, yeah, if you want to get into a cost battle, I mean, you're a value brand where you bring more value of...
try to elevate ourselves to a premium brand.
I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm pointing to the menu. Of different things, and you bring the Bernabe brand, you bring the Urban Hotdog experience. I mean, that's what you're selling, really.
And that's that's exactly what I'm selling. Is I like to say, I'm changing people's preconceived notions on encased meats. There's another one for you.
Sprinkled in.
Yeah, sprinkle in, pepper in those in there. But it's true. Like I started at the beginning. When people think of hot dogs, they think of mustard, ketchup.
Yeah, I think basically
maybe
baseball
just mustard.
game.
Baseball game. Maybe throw some sauerkraut on there, get it New York style. I'm trying to change that. I'm using very high quality all beef hot dog, of course. The high quality bun,
We'll go on to the bun again.
It's it's a delicious bun made.
We talked about the first
Passions.
episode, but
I'll give them a nice little.
Who?
Passions Bakery. It's a nice little bakery off of 2nd Street there. They make amazing.
Second and what? We got to give them love.
It's, 2nd Street and I believe right before Carlisle, if I'm thinking correctly. The bread gets delivered here, nonetheless. Truck driver, Robert, you're a good guy.
Shout out to Robert if you're listening or watching. Or Pastins? Pastions?
Yes, bakery.
Pastions.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Delicious bun.
I don't know why.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Pastions. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
But I mean, so everything we're doing is very made in house. We don't do a homemade pico de gallo. All our sauces are made in house when possible.
And that matters. And I go back to a lot of. I think of Gordon Ramsay here when I think of really high quality food. Michelin 5-star chef, of course. But when I think
Does Michelin go up to 5 stars or is it 3 stars?
I don't know. He's a Michelin.
He's a Michelin something.
Michelin, the highest Michelin chef you can get. Whether it's 3 stars, 5 stars,
I'm not certain. It could be the tiger shark thing. I could be lying.
But when I think of really good food, I think of Gordon Ramsay, just because you see him on these shows, Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, Hotel Hell, Master Chef. And you take these dishes that are just over the top. Now, I'm a very picky eater. Everybody knows that. So I probably wouldn't enjoy that food. But the way he takes all fresh ingredients and makes it into something special, and then he goes into these restaurants who are suffering, much like John Taffer and Bar Rescue, takes these restaurants that are suffering or bars that are suffering, and you're serving this crap food.
Well, and you gotta have pride.
Too.
Yeah, you gotta have pride in what you're making, and that's a huge thing. If you make it, fresh in house, it's not just gonna taste better to the to the customer, but it's the employees that are making it. They're gonna have more passion about it because they're throwing these ingredients in there. You're pretty much eating their art.
Right.
But Subway calls them sandwich artisans. Maybe taking a little far for Subway, but it's
I like that though.
Yeah, it's definitely elevates. Making it by hand is a little bit different than getting a can of something and just globbing it on there.
Yeah, one of the biggest things. Okay, I'm gonna go 2 different ways here, 2 roads, and we're gonna go on both of them. Then we're gonna come back to here. Gordon Ramsay on his Kitchen Nightmare. No, on his Master Chef. Sometimes these guys, these little kids or guys who are supposedly master chefs, will make a sauce out of a can and serve it to him, and then Gordon will taste it and say, "Did you make this out of a can? Did you make this spaghetti sauce out of
to have that distinct
a can?"
palate, yeah.
And then the guy's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You have a full pantry of fresh tomatoes and fresh basil. You have, fresh cut halibut. You have fresh lobster, and you use lobster out of a can."
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going through your mind? And then on the Bar Rescue side, one of the episodes I watched, this guy was using frozen hamburger patties and threw it on a hot grill. You know what happens when you throw a frozen patty in a hot grill? Basically it doesn't turn out well. And and the grill's never been cleaned.
You got to be brand consistent. I mean, if
you're
you're
like, this is
going
what
for
you're
that-
serving to
yeah.
people, and it tastes like crap. And so
The staff's not going to take pride in that. They're not going to,
No, I mean they have no in it either.
And one of my
There's
favorite
no pride.
compliments to get about the restaurant is someone else thinking that, someone else is the owner, not me. Someone thinking one of my staff is the owner because of the pride they take in what they make. That's one of my favorite compliments to get because it's telling me that, A, not only have I equipped my staff
Dan the guy.
Dan the guy, Mario,
Right.
Kelly, Jackson, all
Shout out to
fantastic,
everybody.
employees, but they're able to take the pride in their work, and that exudes, and it exudes so much that the guest can see it. And the guest is like, there's no way this person is this passionate about this product unless they actually own the place.
Right.
So that's a huge compliment to myself and obviously to them as well.
Well, the
And a
team.
huge, the team, and that's exactly what it is.
But it's really cool to hear you say, hey, we use locally sourced Albuquerque bun products. We use fresh ingredients because in this day and age, there's so much tendency, now not just in the restaurant business, I'm saying just in life, there's so much tendency to take the shortcut route, to take the half-ass route. And,
It's the easy way out, yeah.
Yeah, the easy way out because I'm going to make more money, or it's the easy way to do it. And, my uncle always told me, and you'll probably like this, he's an ex-sheriff type guy, now he's a U.S. Ranger, U.S. Ranger, what do they call him?
Rangers?
No, not a ranger, but one of those.
A marshal?
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
U.S. Marshal. Sorry, Uncle Don. Don't judge me on this, but he's a U.S. Marshal, and one of these. He told me, if you ever have a problem in life, whether it's business, whatever, put all the solutions to that problem on your hand. Pick the top 5, put them all in your hand, and then pick the hardest solution. That's the way you got to go. And it always stuck with me because, let's say making a hot dog. The end game is making the hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
One solution is, okay, just get some shit from Smith's or Albertsons and we're going to make hot dogs. Others is, get some shit from Smith's, we'll make some homemade chili, we'll cut it up. But the hardest thing is to get all locally sourced products.
Make everything
in-house. Make sure everything's up to par. We're going to do this the right way. That's the hardest way to do it.
Oh,
and there's 4 other easy
But
ways to do
when
it.
you go that hard route,
But you know
whether
what
or
I'm
not
talking
it's
about.
just hot dogs, if it's
Well,
life.
I'm talking about life.
Yeah, life in general, it shows.
Yeah.
And it shows, through your work, what you've accomplished.
Work ethic.
And people can see that, and that's huge. If you're trying to move up, within your job, or you're
Yeah,
trying to,
that's a
and
good way.
you show that, I'm willing to take, maybe not necessarily give my life up completely, but I'm willing to go those extra miles.
And that comes back
Yeah.
to seeing yourself as the owner, because if you see yourself as the owner in any company, you're really going that extra mile. You're picking up trash that you see over here. You're making sure this table is level. You're making sure this is right. You're making sure all these little details are right. And I would guarantee you, I would bet money that if you're an employee working somewhere and you're doing this and acting like you're the owner, your boss or direct supervisors are going to notice this.
Oh, definitely.
And single you out for more promotion or show you how to grow yourself. And if he doesn't, the least that comes out of it is you're growing yourself anyways.
Even more
but
than that.
Someone's gonna see it. Someone's gonna notice
when
it.
I first started here, I had that same mindset, and I had people actually offer me jobs on the spot.
Yeah.
To leave, and there was one offer that I got that was exceptionally, more money than I was making here.
But
Because they saw the work ethic I was putting forth.
this comes as damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, man. Let's pan this out and play it out. You go to that other company, and turn out to be shit scene, right?
Definitely.
There's no, you're going into the trenches with the helmet again. But here, you have an opportunity to build something that's your own,
Well, it's
and
local.
then it's on you.
You can take some nice pride in it.
Right.
It's on you. I love having the responsibility of, whether it's been in sports or in my personal life or, in work especially. I love taking on the challenge. I love, exceeding expectations, an overachiever in that sense.
Hey man, if you overachieve, hey, just achieving or competing
Is doing more than, half the people out there.
Well, yeah, but then that's kind of normal too, just achieving. Mm-hmm. But if you dominate and go this extra levels of making sure that you're the owner mindset of, hey, I want this thing to look like I'm representing myself as the owner here. Well, there's one guy I know, he sold cars, and then people would say, are you the owner? He's like, hell yeah, I'm the owner. Let's go sell some cars. What do you want, baby? Let's, you find this thing? Okay, sign here, let's
Who's
roll.
the president? I'm the president.
Yeah, I'm the president. you know, it's that act as if stuff. But if you act as if and you actually show it, and through work ethic and how you roll, man, you'll be killing it.
No, definitely.
Whether you're an employee or you are the owner or whatever the case is.
Self-employed or working under 10 people
or if
working
you're
under
at
one
school,
person. Yeah.
being the owner of yourself at school means I'm going to study and not, whatever.
Oh, definitely. That's a lot of people don't take that to.
Well, then they ask why I'm not making it.
And
it's like, dude, you just walked by a pile of trash. You just walked by a table that wasn't clean.
And
and you didn't even do anything about it. You saw it. I know you saw it.
And one of my favorite things to do in interviews, and my interviews are a little less structured than normal. I interview based off personality, how I think it fits within the culture.
Sure. Well, you're
one
building a culture.
One of my favorite things to do and see is if there's any trash in the parking lot or any trash in the restaurant. And if someone picks it up on their way in or their way out, that speaks volumes to me as, not just the owner, but as a hiring manager.
Well, it's
or
everybody's.
what position I'm in, that they take, maybe that's pride in the state. They don't want the state to look, bad, or maybe they just, that's how they're raised. You can train someone to cook. You can train someone to do all these things, but you can't train someone to consciously or subconsciously even, have that, drive to, I'm going to pick this up and throw it away as I walk away or as I walk in.
Yeah, you really have, or this is the way I feel, is, I'll pick up trash at a restaurant or a street or whatever, whatever, because if I see it and I don't do something about it, it's basically my fault now that the park looks horrible.
A sense of responsibility.
Yeah, you have the sense of responsibility, and I'm just so freaking proud of our city and state that I want it to look good. But it's more than that. It's just, man, really, if you see a problem, whether it's my business or your business or anywhere you go to Walmart and you take something off the rack and you just throw it in the aisle somewhere. But I always want to take it to where I got it from because, you got to. I don't know how to explain.
Well, no, and that I heard something
right?
very similar recently. It may have been on a podcast or I was in a book I was reading recently. I can't remember, but it was you have the opportunity to make someone's job easier. Why wouldn't you take that? Whether it comes to putting something back on the rack in Walmart or clearing your own table in a place that doesn't necessarily has staff to do that.
I feel weird like when I go to Dion's and like you just leave stuff there, or you go to Fuddruckers and you just leave food there because I just my instinct wants to like.
If you can make someone's life easier, if you can help them out even in a small way, you don't know what that staff person is going through.
You don't know their struggles.
You don't know their struggle. Maybe they're having a crappy day, and that table, clearing off may not be a big deal to you, but it could, that last table or the fact that your kid smeared ranch everywhere could break them, for the day or the night. So why not, just assume, do what you can to help other people out.
And that kind of goes into, smiling, being just as courteous and, being 110% positive about a situation. Because sometimes, I always try to smile and be very nice and cordial to people and high energy on the phone and get them fired up just about anything. Like if I'm ordering pizza from Dion's, I'm going to say, hey, they say, hey, this is Jennifer from Dion's, how's it going? And say, hey, I'm Chris, how's it going with you? Nice to meet you. I want to get this.
It makes a huge difference in their day and your own positive outlook.
Yeah, you kind of spread this cariño, this love into the atmosphere and through this stuff, and I think it's just and this is how I feel. Maybe not everybody does, obviously, but I just feel that it's my duty to just be positive and share the love. That's why you see on these episodes I usually have my heart shirt on. Same company makes this shirt. I'm getting tingles, man. I just feel so good about sharing this passion.
That's huge, and it's awesome to hear you talk about that passion, because think of what if everyone thought that way. Where would we be as a society?
And I don't know what we'd be. We would be a real world power. I don't see America really being a first world power. I mean, we are, but it's another topic.
we can discuss that. There's a
lot
of
of
things that make
stuff like that.
Yeah. But I mean, that positive outlook is, and that's something that I think you and I both share.
Yeah.
When it comes down to things going wrong, 90% of the time, I'm like, well, what can I do about that? I'm laid back. If I got the tire on the back of my Jeep stolen, my thought process was, well, that sucks. I couldn't find my Jeep for a while because I was like, that's not mine. It doesn't have a tire on the back.
Right.
And my thought process on it after it got stolen was, well, hopefully that person needed that tire more than I did.
Yeah, that's what I instantly thought of. Clearly that guy needs it more than I do. And I'm okay with that because, it's just...
What can I do about it now? I can cry, I can pout, I can, go on some vigilante for someone carrying a tire.
That's all past. Or you can go on the Facebook and complain about it. That's all past.
But instead you can be positive and say, hey, maybe this guy fed his family with a tire. How awesome would that be?
Or he's on a road trip. I'm thinking just the good in people. Maybe he's on a road trip and it's like, man, I need that tire. Maybe he left $20 and it blew away. I don't know.
All possibilities.
Man, how cool would that be if someone took your tire off your Jeep and left a C note on your window? Would that be like? I'd be like,
maybe we've started nobody go take tires and leave notes.
No. But
we're not encouraging that.
If I was on a road trip and was like, man, my tire blew out. I'm stranded. It's Christmas Eve. I don't know where to go. There's a tire there. Can I take it and leave like him a couple $100? You'd be like, oh man, that's really cool. Sorry, that was just a weird tangent.
No, definitely. I mean, it's that same concept, that same thought process. You know, that makes a difference in not only your life, but in other people's lives as well.
Yeah, I guess the best way to put it is just how I feel is just a very gratitude attitude. I'm just so thankful for everything, and I want to show that and put it back into the universe. And it's basically the best way to explain is, and I told my sister this and the people that I talk to, is if you know me, I'll give you 60 to 80% of the relationship and only expect maybe 20 or 10 back. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you everything I have. I'm gonna help you any way I can, and I don't really want anything back. And people take that as you being I heard it as you're coming on too fast, or you're being too forward, and I don't care what,
Well, eventually you're going to find meet someone that is completely accepting and does the same.
Yeah.
And so you're
just
not
giving value.
you're not accepting reciprocation, but you're getting it because they're the same type of person. You're kind of matching.
Yeah. So you just give so much value that we're debating if we turn the open sign on. Dan the guy's gonna put it on.
Dan the guy's gonna put it on. Mario hasn't been introduced to the. You wanna?
We'll get Mario in a second.
Camera shy, or?
We'll get him in a second. We'll get you in a second, Dan. Or I mean Mario, sorry. But I see that in you too, man, because I know if I called you at any hour of the day,
oh, definitely.
You would be there. If you answered the phone, you'd be there to help out.
If I answered the phone, if you called the restaurant, I would answer the phone immediately.
Right. When
I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, I didn't mean it as a bad thing. What I'm saying is, you have your things. If you're like in the trenches here taking grenades from customers, I don't expect you to answer the phone. But if you answer the phone, I know that you'd be either willing to help or find a way to help me out. And that's what I'm saying. Just going the extra mile. We went a long tangent here.
Definitely. We're hot dogs, right?
Well, we started off with how you interview people and trash and doing that kind of stuff, and went on a long tangent about adding value and thought processes here.
All important things.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that's how you hire people, is based off of that, or just attitude and how they present themselves. Maybe not experience.
You can't teach the ability to, be kind. You can't teach that. You can't force that sort of thing, but you can teach someone to cook. You can teach someone the proper way of cutting something.
Yeah, you can teach someone to clean a table or to be nice to customers, or how to solve problems, right? These are teachable things,
huge.
Or moldable things.
And if someone's a triangle, to go back to a six-year-old analogy, because I have a nephew.
Yeah,
we were playing this game the
5-year-old
other day.
kid, so.
Yeah, at heart, and still in life sometimes. But if you're trying to put that triangle in that round hole, it's not going to fit. If you try to force someone that may have huge culinary knowledge into this restaurant, but he didn't have the right attitude, the right ambiance about him, it wouldn't work out. It would end up costing me money. He wouldn't be happy. The rest of the staff wouldn't be happy. You might turn it into a toxic environment.
Right.
Whereas if I brought someone on that fit perfectly, we can teach him to cut. We can teach him to be safe. We can teach him to work a fryer. Those sorts of things. And ideally that other person goes off and he finds a triangle for him to fit in, sort of thing.
Right. And if you took this triangle and try to put it in a round square, you're doing yourself a disservice, but more importantly, you're doing the triangle a disservice, because he's not going to be happy here.
Exactly.
And if he's not happy here, you don't want him here, because, like you said, you're going to create a toxic environment, bringing other staff members down, turning customers off. Yeah, you don't need that. He's not happy here.
Revolving, and it's not going to.
We want you to be happy, brother.
Sales, exactly.
And if it's not at the Urban Hotdog Company, go somewhere else. And you're confident to say, hey, that's cool.
That's cool with me, and I understand that.
Go do whatever you want to do. Go do Michelin star chef at Tamaya Resort, or whatever you do, or
whatever makes you happy. You do you, boo.
Yeah.
But playing that all back in, that's all these sort of thoughts and feelings. They go into the food. They go into the pride of how great these hot dogs are. Whether you're doing the julienne on a daikon radish and a carrot, and then pickling it, topping it with some sushi ginger and some seaweed on top of there with a wasabi and teriyaki sauce. There you go.
You just lost me, dude.
Yeah, sold you on a delicious
You
hot
lost
dog.
me at Julian. What's a Julian? Is that the name?
It's a type of cut.
Oh, okay. Of what, hot dog or beef?
Of just anything. If you're doing a cut, so it's like an anything cut. We can show you. We can do some B-roll footage.
Yeah, we're going to do some B-roll footage and we'll see what a Julian cut is. We're all going to learn here today. So go back over that sandwich. It sounds delicious.
So that
Where do you get your seaweed from? The sea?
well,
Or
I
do you
believe
get it-
that
or
is
is
where
it-
most
or is
seaweed
it dried?
comes from. It's dried seaweed.
Okay.
It's definitely dried. So I think of that as like a sushi dog.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know if it was like fresh. That was half joke, half question. I saw that. You like that? We have a good sense of humor. Because we're in New Mexico, there's no seas close.
No, not within
Do we have
immediate
any,
driving
do we have
distance.
any seas in America?
Does Elephant Butte have seaweed maybe?
No, but does
It has
America?
dead bodies, I know about.
Yeah, probably, and other stuff, bicycles and beer bottles.
No,
No, does Albuquerque? Does the United States have a sea? We don't have a sea. We have lakes. We don't have a sea.
That's good. We might have a sea. That's a good question.
No, we don't have a sea.
No, we don't.
Where you have the Baltic Sea over the Russia area, the Sea of Tonkin over by India. We don't have seas, do
Maybe
we?
it's like the tsunami typhoon. So you call one thing a sea and then another a
No,
lake.
sea's a body of water.
Okay, an enclosed body of water.
I don't know the
Well,
definition.
what's a lake then?
A lake's enclosed. A sea is an offlet of an ocean?
An inlet, offlet?
I don't know. These are all questions that we don't have answers.
No. From the great beyond.
It's the opposite of if you listen to the Art of Charm podcast, he always starts off with, you have the questions and we have the answers, right?
Yeah. Gotta love the art of charm.
Yeah.
Jordan Wright.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Harbinger. We have the opposite. We have questions. We
None
don't
of the answers.
none of the
I can make
answers.
up the answers fantastically. Like the tiger shark thing. I'm still. Now I'm nervous that I wasn't right about
I don't
that.
know. We'll link that up now.
Because I've been saying that for years, that I'm a tiger shark.
If it isn't, we'll rewrite Wikipedia to prove
Yeah.
you right.
And that's the beautiful thing about today is you can do that. You can go edit Wikipedia and make yourself right. For,
Make yourself
for a
right for at least a few days.
Yeah.
Take a screenshot, put it on the site, and boom. Credibility.
Immediately.
Oh, we may have our first hot dog customer.
Here we go. Right on time.
Yeah, it's basically 11:04. We open at, or I say we, Urban Hotdog Company.
Well, you know,
opens
you
at
can be part
11.
of the family now. I feel
Looks like
after
they're
this
coming in.
conversation.
Oh, yeah. It looks like we have our first customer.
Perfect. We might want to move the menu out for them to
Rolling the
be
menu
able to
out.
give that a nice little gander. There we go. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome to Urban Hotdog Company.
Good greeting. See,
Right?
if you walked in and did that during an interview, and picked up some trash, I might hire you.
I'm already in the fast track to management
There
here.
we go.
at the
Well, I wouldn't go
Urban,
that far.
Urban Hotdog.
We start everyone out of base. I don't know if you're
UHFC?
UHFC, the factory company.
No, isn't it? Oh,
UHDC. I don't know where you got the
Oh.
F from.
I don't know where the F is. Either
DC.
Oh,
Urban
yeah,
Hotdog Company.
UHDC.
UHDC. Albuquerque, born and bred. 2012.
I can't fast track up to the top?
Well,
I have to
you
start
know,
with base?
You have to, and I think there's a lot to be said about starting out at the bottom and working your way up. You get to know all the positions, especially in the restaurant
Yeah,
industry. It's
no,
very
you
important.
really actually
Yeah.
need to, and they do that in the McDonald's franchises. If you want a McDonald's franchise,
Yeah, you have to work which is
Every
smart,
position.
right? Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I half joke, but yeah, you're right about that. So what do you think? We, now that we're serving customers, we'll probably get into some B-roll here, right?
We could get some fantastic B-roll going here, some nice hot doggage.
Yeah, we have some patrons here. Can you sneak over and look? Dan the Guy's back there doing Dan the Guy stuff.
Mario, aka the Hot Dog Slayer, is
Mario, the hot dog slayer, is doing
dealing with the
Mario
guests
stuff.
perfectly. Giving you play-by-play.
Oh, we stopped out of video, so perfect.
There we go.
So we're out of video. Right now you're just watching a black screen, but we're going to cut to some B-roll here, right?
Let's get some beautiful B-roll.
Okay, I guess
Some
The-
hot dog goodness.
the GoPro 4 is straight up dead, so we're gonna switch to our mobile unit.
Okay, that was on the podcast.
Yeah, so if you're watching video, you're not watching anything. You're just listening to us talk. But we're gonna cut to some B-roll. I want to thank everybody who's watching this, all of our fans from Albuquerque, all of our listeners who text me saying, good job, Dane Maluski out in San Francisco, Alicia Pompa, did some shout outs, Tom Lang, David Schulenberg, all my friends. Thank you to all the guys previously. We have Bernabe, Matt Lewis Bernabe right here. Still can't see, we're rolling black. But thank you, Bernabe, for you.
Definitely, no.
For the time.
Thanks for having me on. This was a fantastic experience. And if I were to close, I would just say, for those of you out there listening, watching,
Yeah, what's your-
go out and do what makes you happy. Take the risk. because it makes a big difference.
It's
in your
riskier not to take the risk.
You're going to look back and you're going to wonder, what if I didn't do this, I would look back, if Dave didn't give me the opportunity, and I would say, what if, I could have taken a different job, a possibly higher paying job, but would I have been as happy? Would I have taken as much pride in it? So go out there and take the risk, and have some faith in yourself. And if you think you can do it, do it. Make sure you have good support cast around you. I'm very lucky. My friends, Chris Martin, Corey Moulton, to name a few. I could go through the entire list.
Alfonso, Dominic Longoria,
Dom
Mackenzie
Longoria,
Woods,
Matt Woods,
everybody.
Lenny Glanville, everyone, and even the regulars that come in, they make a huge difference to me and help me out and have supported me. If you take the jump, you're going to find people you never knew were out there, and they're going to come out and they're going to support you because you took the risk.
Yeah, and they're ready to help you out.
Definitely.
All right, guys, this is the end of episode 5 from the interview section. We're going to cut to some B-roll. We'll still be rolling audio, and we'll be showing you what Dan the guy...
and Mario the hot dog slayer.
Well, we call him Hurricane Dan, right? Or Dan the man. He prefers Dan the guy.
Dan the guy. Well,
Mario the hot dog slanger is doing. So
Slayer.
We're not going to wave out as we normally do because we have no video. You're still rolling black, but we're going to be going to video right now. All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you in a